Post-match chat with Chaps for that Millwall podcast where it finished Millwall 1, Burnley 1. And what a team. What a team we have at the minute. The character in that group is just absolutely amazing. And I'm celebrating a draw, I know that. But I'm celebrating that draw against a really, really good team when the odds are stacked against us in terms of the threadbare squad that we've got at the minute. What a performance from 1 to 11. Gary Rowett, fair play that man for being able to get out this level of performance out of that team and to go again after Saturday. And I'm just absolutely over the moon, as I'm sure all of you are. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the team that started the game. So he made 2 changes. Tom Bradshaw came out of the side. I'm hearing that he had a hamstring problem that meant he wasn't fit enough to start the game. So that was the first change. The second change was Mr. Honeyman coming in for Ollie Burke. And sorry, what I should have said is Duncan Watmore coming for Tom Bradshaw. Sorry, I didn't mention that. So what that meant is that Vogie switched from the wing to be the focal point in the centre. And then we had Watmore on the left and Honeyman on the right. The rest was the same team that played against Sheffield United. And I was thinking to myself, particularly the 2 in the middle, I was like, can they go again against a team that are going to keep the ball? They're going to have to work really hard off the ball. Whether Savs and Chap could go again. Obviously, Fleming in the hole behind the front 3. And then defence was the same back 4. Murray Wallace on the left, Danny Mack on the right, Cooper and Cresswell, and then, of course, George Long in goal. So we start the game, and to be honest with you, the first sort of 10-15 minutes, they could have been 2 or 3-0 up. They really could have been. They really are a class above anything that I've seen down the den this season. The first, as I say, they played us off the park the first sort of 15-20 minutes. And it's just some of the things that they do. That I tell you what they reminded me of. I don't know, I can't remember what year it was, but it was probably getting up to 10 years now. Maybe not as much as that, I don't know. We played Swansea at home, and they were top of the league by far, and they played this stunning football, and they played us off the park, and I'm sure they beat us 3-0. And the way that Burnley play reminded me of them. Some of their patterns of play, little things like just the audacity to always play out from the back but look comfortable doing it. To have Vitinho constantly just hugging the touchline. Little things like Ashley Barnes on our goal kicks would drop into like almost a centre-half position. Just lots of different patterns of play that you've not seen before. And I've got to commend Burnley and company for doing that. In the first 20 minutes, they were fantastic, and it really was backs-to-the-wall stuff. But they didn't take those chances. And I don't know if it was the first half or second half. I don't think Long actually made a save. And then after sort of 20-25 minutes, we started to grow into the game, and we really started to get to grips with the game. And I wouldn't necessarily say we had any clear-cut chances, but we did create our own chances of our own. And a lot of the good stuff came through Fleming, who I thought was outstanding tonight. Not quite my man of the match, I'll come on to that, but I thought Fleming was superb. He almost looks half a second ahead of not just our players, but even Burnley players. And they got 10-15 million pound players on their books, and he just looks superb tonight. And I think what Fleming is starting to do more which is interesting because he hasn't scored or assisted for a while now, but he's actually stamping his authority on games a lot more, and he's got more of an influence over the game, but without those specific numbers, which I personally prefer. His touch, some of his sort of strength and his hold-up play is superb. I thought he was brilliant tonight, and a lot of the good stuff in the first half and in the second half came through Fleming. So after, the first half, you kind of look at it and you think, well, it's 0-0. We've got to 0-0 at half-time. I think, let's be honest, we would have all taken that. And let's be honest, our second half is usually our favourite half, right? It's where we're attacking the Cold-Blow Lane end and where we're usually better. And we start the second half, and I think they kind of started off where they started the first half. Quite a front foot attacking. Again, without really creating too many clear-cut chances. The El Zaroury, just seemed to cut in on his right foot and try shots from all sorts of distances without much joy. They, as I say, they play some beautiful stuff, but they were playing kind of in front of us a lot because they never had Teller or Michael Obafemi on the pitch, which are the kind of two players that stretch defences. They were playing lots of pretty football, but in front of us. And yeah, absolutely dominant without question. But I think that we were doing really, really well up to the point in which they did finally take the lead, in which where I sit, it's a right pain in the arse because basically the dugout blocks my view for right in the corner. So I haven't seen this, right? So bear that in mind when I say this. But by the sounds of it, Cresswell could easily clear the ball, decides to try and take someone on. They win the ball off of him, and ball comes across, and I think it's Barnes who ends up putting it in the back of the net. I have to say, I thought Ashley Barnes was one of their best players tonight. I thought he was very, very good. So for any Burnley fans listening, I know he's in sort of a hot scoring form at the minute, but it's his all-round play that I think is really, really beneficial to the way that you guys play. So yeah, I also want to know from Burnley fans, if you are listening, you brought a lot of fans, but you didn't make much noise. And I'm not saying we did, by the way. This is not a tit for tat. Millwall fans, we know our atmospheres can be absolutely amazing, but they can also not be amazing. So this is not tit for tat. But I thought for a team that are top of the league and are how many games unbeaten, you brought a lot of fans, but you didn't make much noise. So I was a little bit disappointed with that. I was also disappointed with some of the theatrics of some of your teams, Scott Twine in particular. As someone who's had a very serious knee injury, I can assure you, when I see people running around on the floor acting like they've just been shot when they haven't, it really winds me up. So Scott Twine, that was pathetic, mate. And I'm not going to comment on the referee because it's not really what I like to do. We go 1-0 down. They also then missed a golden opportunity to go 2-0 up. I think, was it Cullen or was it Barnes again who hits the post? And, as I say, let's take nothing away from Burnley. They were a class above. But, we bring on Mr. Bradshaw alongside a couple of other changes. I think at this point, Essie comes on as well. And I think it was just players had run out of steam. I think Leonard comes onto the pitch. I think it was Leonard, Essie and Bradshaw come on for... it was Watmore, who doesn't look like he can do longer than 70 minutes, but we kind of knew that from Middlesbrough fans in terms of what we were getting. He was quite quiet tonight, Watmore. I'll come on to individual performances in a minute. He goes off, Saville and Shackleton go off as well. So Vogie goes out to wide, Essay on the wide right, and then Bradshaw through the middle. And then Leonard as well comes on, who I think had an instrumental effect in the game. I thought Leonard was outstanding for the 20 minutes he was on the pitch, or wherever long he was on the pitch. So Bradshaw comes on, not fit enough to start, but they decide to throw him on. And right place, right time, superb finish from Mr. Bradshaw. And that's goal number 11 now. And not only that was it a great finish, but I don't remember him losing a header against two absolute lumps that Burnley have got a centre half. He's more than just someone that has now been scoring goals recently. Watch his overall play, his link-up play, his hold-up play. And for someone who's not that big, yes, I'm not saying we should lump it to him constantly, but when we do, he does give us half a chance of winning headers up there. So Bradshaw, again, superb. And he gets us that goal. And yes, I'm sure Burnley fans are thinking, how on earth have we not won that? And I don't necessarily blame you for that. But for our pure resilience and the fight that we've got in that team, I think we deserved it. I really, really do. I thought we battled so hard. Any team that comes to the Den is going to have to work their socks off to get anything. Because we have got a team, and again, the club and Gary Rowett have got to be commended for this, of honest professionals that give absolutely everything for the team. Even tonight, I've got to say, Fleming, I've never seen him, his work rate, I've never seen that. Chasing down lost causes, chasing down everything for the whole 90 minutes. I just hope that we've not over-rotated too much and we're now screwed against Stoke on Saturday, because we've got to go Saturday and Tuesday again. This is how relentless this is. But to take 4 points against the top two in a division, I think is outstanding. Especially when you look at the fact that there's probably between 3 and 4 players that would start that aren't even in the squad at the minute due to injury. And they are Hutch, absolutely he would be starting. Billy Mitchell, player of the season up until he got injured. Mason Bennett, I think, and it's just my opinion, I think a fit Mason Bennett starts. Unfortunately, he's not fit enough, but I think there's no doubt in the impact he makes. And then Callum Styles. So you could say maybe, you know, between Bennett and Styles, you've got one starter, but then you've got the other two. So there's at least 3 guaranteed starters. And then, of course, you've got Bradshaw on the bench and Burke not even in the squad. So when you think of how threadbare that squad is, to play those 2 games and to get 4 points and to go again Saturday, Tuesday, I think is just outstanding. And I don't know whether it's something special building down there and maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves or whatever. But I've got to say, I just thought that we were absolutely superb. We never gave up. The resilience in that team is absolutely fantastic. I have to say, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I want to now talk about a couple of individual performances. So I thought Long, again, he didn't have that much to do. A lot of their chances were sort of near misses. He wasn't really forcing to making many saves. From memory, he made one very good save. I can't recall when it was. I'm literally recording this as soon as I walked in the door, so I've not seen anything back or anything. I'm just freestyling. He also, I remember him coming and punching a cross or a corner that was well, he had to get there and he did, and it called some of the pressure. But I can't remember him doing much else. But he didn't have a bad game. Murray Wallace, I thought was okay, was solid. He was up against, you know, some of the best wingers in the league, so fair play to him. I thought Cooper and Cresswell were great, other than Cresswell's one mistake. We know this, right? 95% of Cresswell's game is brilliant, and he's more than good enough for this level. But he's got one mistake in him, and unfortunately, that mistake always seems to cost us goals. But he's 21. I mean, this is going to happen. This is the thing, and it's easy to sit there and slag him off, but you can't ever question his effort, commitment and desire. So I'm not going to badmouth him. Cooper was really good. He just needs to stop giving away stupid fouls. And there was one time in the second half, we had a corner and he was being marked. We were all joking that he was being marked by someone who was like 5'0". I think it was Josh Cullen. And he just completely pushes him over, and therefore we lose the chance from the corner. Cooper seems to give away stupid free kicks. But other than that, he was brilliant. I also want to say that I don't really feel that we maximised our set pieces tonight. I'm not complaining at all. I'm just saying I thought if we were going to score, it was going to come through set pieces, and I think our deliveries tonight was one of the only things that let us down. Then Danny Mack. So I thought Danny Mack was outstanding tonight. He was my man of the match by far. He just set the tone. I think someone commented, I tweeted something earlier and someone commented saying he got beat in the first minute and then never looked back. I don't recall him getting beat in the first minute, but if he did, he quickly set the tone after, because he was superb. Defensively, he came up against not one, not two, but 3 different wingers throughout that match, and 3 different wingers who are up there with the best in the league. Especially the one who came on at the end, Nathan Teller, who is a superb player and probably would have started if he was fully fit. But nonetheless, Danny Mack, he was just outstanding defensively tonight. His tackling, his timing on his tackles was to absolute perfection. He pushed forward where he could, linked up quite well with Honeyman in the first half. I just thought it was an outstanding performance. Yeah, it's just brilliant when one of the Millwall lads puts in shifts like that, because you just know how much it means not only to us but to them. So Danny Mack, outstanding performance for me. Saville and Shackleton, at times they got overrun. I felt Shackleton's positioning at times wasn't great, and because as I say, I was sitting near the dugout and you can hear Rowett. Rowett wasn't happy with Shackleton in the first half. I don't quite know what he was or wasn't doing, but I thought Sav and Shackleton, considering what they're up against and considering the amount of effort they had to go again, I thought they were great. I want to give a massive mention to Leonard, because when he came on, at one time, he was literally the only centre midfielder we had. I think we'd made changes for the last 5-10 minutes, and he was only centre midfielder, and he won everything in the air. He was first to second balls. I thought Leonard was brilliant. It's such a shame that, you know, Leonard can't seem to get a string of games together, because I think he's such a valuable member of this squad. I really do. Going on to, I've already talked about Fleming. I thought he was brilliant. Very, very close to Danny Mack in terms of man of the match. Honeyman, what you get with Honeyman is effort, commitment, desire. I think that his ability is not as strong as some of the other players we've got, but he's an absolute workhorse, and I think he's a really valued member of the squad. And I think tonight, the shift he put in, especially going backwards, was also vital in how well Danny Mack played, because I think Honeyman was also working very closely with him. So I thought Honeyman had a good game, more defensively than going forwards. I thought Watmore was quiet. I really did. I thought Watmore was quiet. He got caught offside quite a lot in the first half, rightly or wrongly, I don't know. But I thought he was quiet tonight. So hopefully that's just one of those games for Duncan. And then Vogie, he splits opinion. I've seen a lot of comments again tonight. I don't think he was great, I'm going to be honest. I thought that he, at times, put it this way, I think when you watch Vogie up there tonight, you realise what Bradshaw brings. I'm not going to slag Vogie off, because I think he tried and he battled, and you can never question his effort and commitment. And towards the end, when he went into a wider position, I actually thought he got better. So maybe he's just not a central striker, I don't know. And then who else have I not mentioned? The other subs, I think SA came on. Really like the look of this kid. I really, really do. He's got something about him. He's obviously got quality going forwards, but I feel like he knows when to track back. He's not afraid to put tackles in. I think he's going to be a star. So delighted for him. And then we also brought on Malone and Imaku for his Millwall debut. To be honest with you, probably too late to really comment on those, because those guys were literally just brought on to try and help, I guess, sort of some fresh legs in terms of trying to just close down some of the Burnley players. So I'm not going to comment on them, but really, really pleased to see Imaku in a Millwall shirt and to make his debut today. So I think I've covered it. I just want to say again, I commend the players. I commend Rowett. I'm seeing more passion from Rowett on the touchline, which I really like as well. You can just tell he's in it. Like, he's constantly, like, I won't repeat what he said, but constantly talking to the linesman, telling him to do his job properly. He's constantly hollering at the team. And by the way, the amount of times he tells the team to push up, it's not him that makes us sit back. It really isn't. I want to commend the team. I want to commend Rowett. We've got a threadbare squad at the minute, but we've got 4 points off the top two. And if that doesn't set the tone for the rest of the season, I don't know what is. We've got 50 points, so we're safe now. We've got 50 points from 32 games, 14 to play. I think we're probably going to need 6 or 7 wins from that 14. And I really think we've got a great chance of getting in the playoffs. I just really hope that, especially with these Saturday, Tuesday, that kind of one extra body that we could have done with for a centre forward is not going to come back to bite us on the arse. But whatever happens now, I think we've all got to be really proud of this group, because they're outstanding. Their desire, effort, commitment is unmatched. And to be honest, they've got a bit of quality about them as well. And that is all you can ask for a Millwall team. I think I'm as excited as I have been, as I've been supporting Millwall now since when I first started going, 95. I think I've been as excited now as I ever have been, and that's just testimony to the way that the club is being run at the minute, and everything's pulling in the right direction. So, listen, thank you very much for listening. It's always appreciated, and all your comments are always appreciated. I just do this for a bit of fun. Please do like, subscribe, comment. It really does help the channel. And on to Stoke now. Let's just see what we can do. They won tonight, so hopefully we can bring them back down to earth on Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy your week. Bye for now.